and welcome to this episode of Round Robin. I'm your host, Robin McCormick for the City of Hampton, and today I have with me two representatives from the Peninsula Pilots baseball team. Caretaker Henry Morgan and head coach Hank Morgan. And yes, they are related. Welcome, it's good to see you guys.
Great to see you again.
And the fact that you're here means it's almost baseball season, right? So what are you doing now to prepare? Hank, have you been out recruiting?
Yes, ma'am. We start that process in September, really, right after the completion of our season.
Oh, wow.
So we've been on it for quite a while. And then this time of year, there's a lot of massaging that gets done at the last minute. But yeah, we've been out. We're very happy about what we've been able to attract to town, and we're expecting to have good pitching, lots of team speed, and we hope that we bring an energy level every night that people in the community appreciate watching, and I think that's going to be kind of the standard we're going to hold everyone to. So.
That's great. Well, are there any returning players or players from local or Virginia colleges that you care to name? I know things are in flux for a little while.
Yeah, I'm always hesitant to throw too many specifics out. Even though we are close, it's still somewhat early as it regards to the flux that the roster seems to go through this time of year. But yeah, we have Deshaun Lake is coming back to us from last year, and he played at Menchville High School and is now a freshman at East Carolina University.
Oh, that's great.
And he was one of two high school players that have ever played in our league, him and Jake Cave, who were with us last year. And so he's back, and we're expecting big things out of him. And Adam McConnell from York County, who's at the University of Richmond, as well as Patrick Corbett, also from York County. And he's at Coastal Carolina University. There's a handful of others. We've got some of the usual suspects, Old Dominion University, University of Virginia, Virginia Tech, sending players in, as well as Georgia Tech and some of the schools that we've dealt with. And Army, West Point.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yes, ma'am. And
it's such a military area. It's nice when you can reflect that, in the baseball season.
Tell her about the flux that you're dealing with. That usually means girlfriends, grades, girlfriends, injuries, or grades.
I thought it was a competition with other teams or other summer projects. I guess girlfriends are complexity for college.
Girlfriends and summer school, academic casualties, sometimes they're related to one another.
Yeah. So tell us again, I jumped right in because I'm a Pilots fan, as you can tell by the fact that I'm wearing my
I know, we see you out there.
My blue and my orange today. But there have been a lot of teams that have played baseball at War Memorial, and people who haven't been out lately might need a little backgrounder on what the Pilots are, what the league is all about, and really what it feels like out there.
Well, you could do a whole show on that. It was built in 1947 by Branch Rickey for the Newport News Baby Dodgers, they were called. Mm-hmm. And they played there for, I think, 7 or 8 years and left, and there was a lot of transition over the years there with ownership. We have had 2 Hall of Fame catchers play there. We had the current home run king, Barry Bonds, get his first professional hit there.
Wow.
Satchel Paige threw his last pitch there. And we cherish those pieces of history. We'd like to find a way to celebrate them in a more prominent way. Mm-hmm. Kind of working on that, maybe a hall or a wall of fame.
But you've had the team now for how many years?
Since 2000, the Pilots have been on the peninsula. Yeah, this is our 13th year.
All right, and it is some people asked me recently, now are they AAA or AA? And the answer is neither. They're college.
We are collegiate summer wooden bat league team. I like to say we're affiliated with all 30 professional teams because
some of those kids will end up.
Yeah, the scouts will come there and do their work. And we've had, how many, Hank?
162 or something like that, players drafted. And we've got 4 in the major leagues right now, and we expect a 5th one to be up there in September.
Wow. So do you know the names of, you probably do.
Every year on draft day, it's like being in the waiting room at the hospital, and you're expecting your newborn. It's so pleasing to hear someone's name called out that's been drafted that played for you, because it's a culmination of an awful lot of work and relationships. But
some of the names that you were asking about, Ryan Zimmerman, then third baseman with the Nationals. Tug Hewlett is a second baseman. whose organization he's in right this second. Texas, I think it was, drafted him. At any rate, John Bowker, an outfielder who hit a home run in his first major league at bat and kind of made a little bit of history there, was one of our guys as well. And Josh Roop, a pitcher who's from Virginia Beach, is up there as well. And there's just a whole bunch more that were in the league. Kevin Youkilis with the Red Sox, and lots of big names. We're very proud of kind of what we've been able to pull off from a baseball standpoint, but to play off of your discussion, which I think is more pertinent to the viewers and really everyone, except for, Dad and I tend to love the game of baseball and get a little bit too much inside baseball sometimes.
A lot of people do, though. I have to tell you, there's two groups of people that I see in the stands, and one group is the people who just love baseball, almost any baseball, and they get into it, and it's the game and the players, and they know those names as well as you do. You guys aren't the only two.
And I appreciate you appreciating that. I see the game as the one sport whose game, the pace of the game is such that you can actually get to know the people around you, and you start to develop these relationships with them. You care about them, and you expect to see them back. We've had one fellow that went to every home game but for 22 years. And when he wasn't there one time, we noticed Charlie's absence and checked on him, and eventually he had passed away, and he was living by himself. And I've been to funerals and weddings and births and all that for.
Did you have an engagement or something at the ball field one summer?
Two of our interns are now married and living in Richmond. Both are working for Virginia Commonwealth University.
That's great. And that's part of why I go, not being so much about the actual sports, but about the other things of baseball. The hamburgers, the hot dogs, the sounds, the spring weather.
A thing called life.
Yeah, and seeing people, and it is the slower paced. You can walk around and not miss too much.
I think another neat element about our particular model that adds to what you're saying is the host family situation. These guys come to town, and not only are they living and playing baseball and working out and hopefully getting some culture here in Hampton, they're living with families, and which is an awful lot to ask of a family. But it ends up leading to some really neat bonds that happen. They stay in touch over periods of time. They end up going to a lot more weddings and births than we do. And
I bet they really get to know them.
Yeah, and there's, I think, should be a lot of pride taken by everybody in the community, just kind of in terms of feeling a part of a group of people that's willing to extend themselves in that manner is kind of special.
Our citizens in our city have really made it easy for us to recruit, and we recruit on a nationwide basis. But at most of the places we go, they have heard of us, and somebody has had a good summer here, a good experience.
Right.
And they talk about all the things that there are to do in the city of Hampton, and the people, and the facility, and it really makes our job a lot easier.
So tell us, do you have any promotions or special nights lined up for the season?
Well, the city of Hampton is sponsoring opening night, and they have tickets that are available to the citizens. Hank, where can they be picked up?
They'll be at City Hall, and we'll get you some more details about that with the slide or as soon as we know it. Because that's a great way for people to come out, get a taste of what the games are like.
Absolutely.
They don't have to expend any money until they want to buy Italian ice or one of your famous cheeseburgers.
Yeah. Well, we'll make sure you guys have some over here at the station too if you want to. But
by the way, we're going to highlight some local businesses that are in the seafood business and try to highlight the Chesapeake Bay a little bit more on our menu.
Oh, that's great.
Think crab cakes.
That sounds good.
And then we've got the old standby, Thursday night dollar beverages, Friday night fireworks. There's 5 of those shows this year. And for those of you who may not have been, Robin, you're more of a objective opinion on this, I guess. It's a neat experience. I think it's the proximity of the display, but it's It's a nice fireworks show.
It is, and it's free. I mean, you know, it's like on top of the game. And there are just like a few things that make you feel like a kid again. And for me, one of those is fireworks. That and the circus elephants. You know, if I can watch the elephant walk when Ringling Brothers comes in, I can be a kid. But fireworks are like that too. And
we need to get some elephants.
You just settle back at the end of the game, and it's relaxing, and nobody's in a rush to leave. They're free. You know, you've already paid for the game, which isn't that costly. How much is a ticket these days?
$5 for an adult. This, by the way, has not changed since 2000 in those 13 years. $5 for adults, $3 for children 12 and under, $3 for seniors.
And you do, I'll mention, you have special deals for Cubs. I know because I've taken my Cub Scouts when I had Cub Scout, but you have deals for Cub Scouts or Little Leagues or other groups. And you do birthday parties.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah.
PeninsulaPilots.com is probably the most efficient way to gather up all that information, but there's a lot of really affordable options there. And since September 11th of '01, we've offered free admission to all active duty military, and I believe it's $2 or $3 for dependents. So you know, that's kind of the ticket pricing structure. It's an affordable night out, and it's, in terms of value for the entertainment dollar, I challenge you to find a better one.
And some of those values, I know people might remember Homerun Holly.
Yeah, that dog is special.
She runs the bases before every game, and
we found her under a bridge, a holly bush actually, on Chesapeake Boulevard, and gave her to Rick Tavella up at his dog school, Coastal Dog School. He trained her to run the bases, and I love watching the opposing team and the fans watch her run the bases.
It's just so much fun. If I get there late and miss Homerun Holly, I'm always bummed.
We had a rivalry. A quick side story to the Homerun Holly. There was a bit of a rivalry that ensued with the Petersburg team in our league a couple of years ago, 2 years ago, because they thought they were going to be funny. And at a home game, they threw dog treats, milk bones, down in the grass beside third base. And I was kind of proud of our team because they took offense to it. You know, they were like, they messed up this is really special to us. And so they, played pretty hard against those guys from that point forward.
All right, so good baseball, good food, good
price.
Atmosphere. Anything new this year? I think you were saying there might be a new you might be expanding your kids area.
We are. We're really excited about this. The Riverside Hospital has partnered with us to build a kids' play area at the ballpark. It's down the first baseline. We've always felt that it was a place that families could bring their children and it was safe for them to go. We've got a couple of grandparents that sit up on the top that kind of look down, and if a kid walks towards the parking lot, they're on the phone calling us right away. But this will give the children a little bit more to do, and it's really going to be a professionally done, very pleasing, aesthetically new amenity for our ballpark. And we hope that families that are celebrating those birthdays and Little League teams will come out and enjoy it.
It is just it's just so much fun. It really is relaxing and fun, and you see people, the same people a lot of times. Yeah,
it's kind of like every weekend is a reunion there. We've had a few reunions there, but it is a reunion of people within our community. And Hampton's such a great place to live. When people move away and come back, they come there sometimes just to see all their buddies from their high school days or what have you.
Yeah. You guys also do a lot for the community and fundraising for special events. I know certainly Kevin Eady Night has been a long-standing tradition, but you guys support a lot of causes.
Well, we do, try. I've always felt that, but for the grace of God, there go I. And when you talk about children's diseases particularly, it's very heart-wrenching for all of us. Our players, they buy into that as well.
Yeah.
And they enjoy being around kids. They're away from home, and so they help out with these causes. Whereas at a major league level, you may have to pay somebody to show up at an event. But we do. We're talking with people this year about the vasculitis organization, where we've got an Alzheimer's group that we support.
Wounded Warriors.
Wounded Warriors last year was a very moving night for me, and to have all those guys out there and have a group that was supporting them show up on motorcycles and take the field and took our players out to their positions.
That's really neat.
It was cool, yeah.
And that is one of it, just the warm, it's a back and forth. It's not, at a pro game, you're very removed from what's going on. And this is, you get to know the players a little bit and the people in the community, and there's just so much more give and take.
I'm glad you say that, and I appreciate you noticing that. That's what we're aiming to do, and our citizens, our fans have really lived that model, and they are the keystone of our success. And
that's why you told me that you don't want me to call you the owner.
No.
You think the fans and the citizens are the owner, and you're the caretaker.
Well, I do. There's been a lot of people that have been through there, and I don't know that were called owners, and I'm against someone owning the game of baseball. So I could not do this on my own, and the fans that come there and buy a $5 ticket, I consider to be my partners, and they own it as much as I do. I may call them when the next note payment shows up.
All right, fair deal. So the season runs, give me some dates.
We start away on the 29th, but we're at home on May 30th.
May 30th, first home
Opening
game.
night,
and again, we will have some free tickets to give out to Hampton residents, and we'll get you details about how to get those.
Great night to start your addiction to Pilots baseball. We end about the middle of August, and we will be going to the playoffs again this year.
You think? That's your prediction?
Oh, yeah,
all right, I'm writing this down, Henry.
Absolutely.
No pressure, Steinbrenner.
I know you did last year.
And we have for the last, Hank, since you've been the coach, I think we've been every year, haven't we?
Yes, sir. 06 through now.
I'm a little tired of finishing second. I think we've finished second 5 times, and I've got a few fans in the community that have reminded me how distasteful it is to kiss your sister and finish second. But
he calls me Marv Levy and Jim Kelly and Thurman Thomas, finishing second like the Buffalo Bills did for so many years. So.
But we are going to finish up about the middle of August and go to the playoffs. And the kids have to be back in school on August the 17th.
Right, so that's an absolute.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, and people can get more information
www.peninsulapilots.com. We've got a Facebook page. Come and see us there as well.
Come by the ballpark.
245-2222 is the office, and swing on by. Come visit.
And it's a pretty jam-packed schedule for that. 2 months, 2.5 months.
So 11
it's 2-3 home games a week usually. I know it varies.
56 games in 12 weeks, which is it's hard on the players, but
it's also part of the proving ground that our league represents for Major League Baseball. Is they want to see how these guys respond to the idea of baseball being a job every day.
Right, right. It's different than what they're doing in college.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's great. Okay. Well, I look forward to seeing you on May 30th and beyond.
You're going to bring your crowd that you always bring?
I think the crowd brings me, but yes, we'll be there.
Well, God bless the crowd, and we'll have the burgers ready for you.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, Hank, and thank you, Henry, for coming by.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching this episode of Round Robin. I hope you'll come back.